A lot of people ask me, why are those roads that you guys explore even there? There's so much history with mining in British Columbia from the early 20th century. It's something that I think about all the time when we're out exploring. So I decided to head to a place called the Valley of the Ghosts, home of BC's most famous ghost town, and see what stories it had to tell. My name is Sean, and this is the story of Sandon, BC. Brought to you by Epic Adventure Outfitters, White Rock Dodge, Rip Superchargers, and in part by
What's up, guys? Hope you're having a good week. As you can see, we're out here in the forest. We're just finishing up the trip that you probably would have seen in last week's video here with the guys from Epic Adventure Outfitters. They're heading back to their home base. I am continuing on this trip for a couple more days and see what kind of other trouble we can get into. Christian, thanks for having me along on the trip.
Hey, anytime, man.
Make sure you guys check out the Epic Adventure Outfitters YouTube channel if you want to see some more other footage from this trip that we're just finishing up.
Thanks for joining us.
Take good care of Con, the gorilla Jeep Gladiator.
I'll take good care of it.
My favorite Jeep Gladiator, other than my own.
You're gonna change your mind when I'm done in a couple weeks.
And so we headed our separate ways, and suddenly I found myself on my own with some time to kill. So I have about 12 hours to kill today. I think I'm gonna head to Sandon, which is an old ghost town. Check that out. As I was headed down this old highway into the Valley of the Ghosts, I spotted something on the side of the road. That was pretty cool. I was just driving along and there's a moose, just with two baby moose, I think they're moose, sitting there eating on the side of the road. I've never seen that before. From here, it was a straight drive to Sandon, an old mining ghost town. It was the richest silver lead ore producing region in all of Canada and the first town to have a hydroelectric utility system, which still operates today. At one point around 1890, the population peaked at around 5,000 people, but by 1920, it was disincorporated after years of decline. All right, guys, we're out here in the ghost city. It's a ghost city, not a ghost town. I've been corrected. The ghost city of Sandon, BC. It's a mining city, and super cool. We're gonna talk to some of the people who work here and take care of the place. We're gonna go do some exploring.
You know, this is kind of looking at some of the downtown core back in its day. Too bad these photos are starting to fade out. Of course, they had that catastrophic fire in 1900. But here's following the fire when they rebuilt. This building here is this one here, as you can see it.
Right.
It doesn't look so big in that photo when it's
compared to the other buildings
all around it. There's the end of the famous flume that's on the main street. That's taken about a block down the road here, and you can see where the water exited the flume.
Right.
Looking up, there's one of the almost 30 hotels. We know there were at least 29 hotels. Of course, the flume was the ultimate undoing of Sandon. In 1955, it blocked with a log jam. The river had nowhere to go but down through the streets of Sandon. So here you can see debris everywhere. Here's the seeing sort of the corner of the old Sandon Hotel still standing.
And that was kind of the end of the town?
Yeah, after that people didn't see any purpose in it anymore, and one by one all the buildings were torn down for salvage, just for lumber and bricks. And that's where most of Sandon went.
Yeah.
Nobody saw it as historical in those days. Fortunately, we still have some really great stuff that's here, and things like the generating stations survived because they were still being used.
So the power plant is 124 years. Construction was finished at around 1897. And yeah, it's been running for 124.
That's amazing.
Took about 5 years to build with about 500 people.
The power station and its contents are some of the most interesting relics that Sandon has on offer. It's amazing that this has continuously run for 124 years now.
were designed by Thomas Edison. And basically, these last for roughly 12 hours, and then these were used in the miners' headlamps.
This was like the Fort McMurray of Canada 130 years ago.
Right.
This is where the action was, where the high-paying jobs were. Anybody could come here and make far more than the average Canadian with basically no experience, and all the latest technology came here. Huge amounts of capital, thousands of people, and of course all the problems that went along with that. So
Right.
not much different than Fort McMurray today, except there were less rules and regulations in those
Yeah.
years. I mean, there's hundreds of ghost towns in Canada, and the majority of them are probably mining towns. But there's only 2 ghost cities that I know of, and Sandon is one of them. So that's a locomotive that actually worked here
Okay.
in Sandon, but it was 100 years ago when it did that. So.
We're gonna ring the bell on the train. It said I could ring the bell, so you just gently pull it? Oh.
So in 2014, I had a vision. My best friend and I, we had these vision boards that we would do. Like we would sit down at New Year's Eve or New Year's Day, and we would like, okay, where do we see ourselves in 6 months, or in 1 year or 2 years? And I'm like, I want to live in the mountains with a river running through it. And then in September of 2015, I had a dream that I was going to walk across Canada. Like I just had this dream. So I shared this with my best friend, my previous partner, and he's like, do it. And then on April the 18th at 5 o'clock in the morning, I got onto the Duke Point Ferry, and I literally walked off Vancouver Island.
Wow.
And I walked and hiked 2,700 kilometers, 14 mountains, and I lived out of a backpack in 100 days.
Wow.
And I ended up coming, so that was the 14th mountain, Idaho Peak right here. And I sat there and I went, that was like kind of my stopping point. I looked down, I'm like, oh my God, that is my freaking vision board. The mountains with the river running through it.
You saw the town.
I saw the town and I'm like, what the hell is this freaking place? Like I couldn't believe it. And anyway, I walked down and I met Hal. Hal was the very first person I met, and he's been here since 1972.
Oh wow.
And he smiled at me through his side mirror as I was coming across the Powerhouse Bridge there, and I came across and he's like, looks like you got your life on your back. And I'm like, yeah, I guess you could totally say that I have my life on my back. And so we started talking, and then and then that's the rest is history. I moved to Sandon full time on August the 16th, 2016. So a few months later.
All right, so we've seen most of Sandon. This is Holly from BC Ghost Towns and Travels. Check out on Instagram. She works here at Sandon, and she's gonna take us up into the mountains and show us another ghost town called Cody. Cody. Let's go check it out.
The nearby town of Cody is just a short drive up the mountain and has more old buildings for us to explore. Some of them are barely still standing, and others have collapsed long ago from disrepair.
This is the old train station.
Yeah, so the tracks actually be all the way up there, and then they'd loop around into the mountainside.
Cool.
Whoa. You want to get up there.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
That looks safe.
What does safe matter? You're dirty and dangerous, for God's sake.
This would have been the waiting room, and then I believe those were quarters for the people who worked in the train station.
If anywhere's haunted, it's this room. We just partway up this mountain here, and there's definitely an old, some kind of structure up here, cabin, or I don't know what this is, maybe some kind of stove. Maybe if you know what it is in the comments, you can let me know. It says Gurney on it. There's so many old buildings and cool stuff up here.
From what I've been told, it's actually not as old as it looks. What did he say?
50s.
It's 50s is the current, but it's made up of 3 different eras.
Yeah, there were 3 generations of mill here.
Let's go check out this mill. Whoa. That's the thing where they dump the stuff?
Exactly.
Yeah.
This mill is the kind of place you expect to be haunted. The Valley of the Ghosts is named as such because of the large number of ghost towns in the area, but one could get the vibe that there's other types of ghosts around out here. I was definitely getting a few creepy vibes.
Yeah, I'm super interested in like old towns and historical towns and stuff like that. I find it, I wish I could go back in time.
Oh,
Yeah.
wouldn't it be something?
It would be amazing.
Yeah. Well, on a Saturday night, there were probably close to 10,000 people in this downtown core.
Wow.
So that's a density of almost like Hong Kong. And you can just imagine the excitement for people with their big paychecks ready to spend it. And
Yeah.
everything that money could buy could be had here.
That's amazing.
Trains coming and going every day. It was an amazing place to stay. And for a while, it was Canada's richest mining community. And then, of course, it peaked, and like so many mining places, it declined for the next 100+ years. And ultimately, the mining shut down in 1993 here, the very last of the production mining. And it's been pretty much stock promotion ever since.
Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you liked this video, even though it's a bit different than usual. Next week, we're visiting one of the most beautiful places I've ever seen. So make sure you're subscribed, and I'll see you next time.